Right, thank you. Okay, what we're going to do today, guys, is just have a look at forms, just as like an optional extra, really, because it's quite a useful thing to have. And if you stay on to do the projects next year, you're probably going to have to use forms to make it sort of create the windows and things for your user. Okay, it's quite simple to use actually, because there's a bit of a wizard to help you. So the way it works, go to File, New Project as you normally would. Instead of going to Console Application, click Windows Form Application. Okay, that brings up this Forms wizard. Okay, and essentially it's drag and drop. So you drag across the bits that you want. So, for example, if you want a text box, you just drag it across, put it where you want, and there it is, text box 1.
Is it kind of like App Inventor? Like
Very
in the spec that you drag in?
Very similar, but there are no blocks.
Oh, you have to program it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So there's text box 2. Okay. Button 1. Button 2. Okay. And that text box there will be referred to text box 3. Okay. So all the visual side you can do using this wizard. You can also do things to these objects down here in the window. So if we look at button 1, okay, at the moment the text is set to button 1. Okay, so if I change that and put string add, you'll see where this is going in a minute. Okay, the text on the button has now changed. Okay, button 2, if I do int add, that's changed the text to that as well. Okay, you can change the size of the buttons. You can do that by sort of dragging and dropping as you would on a Microsoft Word text box, or you can play with these numbers. You can lock it. You can put an image there, so it's not a normal grey button. It's actually some image that you click. You can change the font. All the properties to do with that button can be changed there. That's why the tab is called Properties. Okay, if you want to program it to do something, double click on it, and it brings up a window like the ones that you're used to dealing with. Okay, and you can see it says public class form 1 and private sub button 1 dot click, and it handles the click of button 1. Okay, so what happens is when somebody clicks that button, it's going to do whatever code is in this subroutine. Okay, so what I can do is I can say text box 3. Okay, and you can see that little option list is going to pop up, and this is really going to help you here, because when you put the dot, you get a list of all the things that you can do with text box 3. Okay, and what I actually want to do is make its text equal to something. So text box 3 dot text is going to equal text box 2 dot text plus text box 1 dot text. Okay, so if I start the program, there's my form. If I click that button, what's going to appear?
1 1.
Huh?
1 1.
1 1. Because there's a string in there, text box 1 dot text. There's a string in there, text box 2 dot text. And I just said when that button's clicked, I want you to make text box 3's text that one and that one. And because they're strings, it just puts them next to each other. Okay?
You know if there's nothing in one of the boxes,
Yeah.
will it crash or will it just not, will it just, so say put 1, 0, will it just show 1? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that just counts as a blank. Alright, what I'm going to do now, close that, go back to your designer window. I'm now going to add some code into this one. Okay, so now it's come up with button 2 click. So that's its name, and that's what it does. So button 2 underscore click handles button 2 being clicked. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut and paste that. Instead of adding the 2 strings together, which is not that useful though, I'm going to add the command convert dot to int32. What does that do, Daniel?
Makes it into a numeric character.
Yeah, it makes that number a numeric number, so it gets added like a number should be added. Okay, so we all know, hopefully, that 1 plus 1 is not 11, it is 2. Okay, so with any luck, when I click start, 1, 1, I click that button, it becomes 11, click that button, it becomes 2. Okay, and that's a very simple form that you've just created. There's lots of things you can do with these. You can have them opening other forms, you can have things on the form appearing, disappearing, changing, becoming invisible. Okay, all sorts of crazy stuff you can do on forms. What do we normally use a form for?
Data entry.
Data entry. Okay, so it might be that you've got variables set up as arrays or lists of data or records, and you can get a form with text box and you can say, right, enter your name. And you enter your name, like Daniel, and you can say text box 1.text becomes equal to record.name. So you can use these forms to read things in a bit more of a slick way than always using the console. Rather than saying, you know, choose option 1, 2 or 3, you can have it click a button like people do in Windows. So you click that one to go to the main menu, that one to go to encrypt, that one to go to decrypt, that one to exit. Okay. Effectively, you can code a visual interface using this quite easily. Okay. You could almost recode Windows or the visual side of Windows using this particular tool. Obviously, you can't code all the background stuff that goes on in the background, like running virus checkers, defragmenting hard drive. It doesn't have that kind of power. The actual visual side, you can do. That's why it's called Visual Basic, because it's made to be visual. It's made to work with forms. It's not really made to use that console all the time. Okay? What I want you to do now is basically I want you to cut and paste that mentally. So I want you to go to the workstations now, make what I just made. Wait. Once you've done that, you should already, with your level of knowledge, be able to recreate that thing there. So once I've seen that you've got the basic form working, okay, have a 5 or 10 minutes to just have a play. So get that working, then have a play. See how you change the names of the buttons to make them meaningful. See if you can get labels in there. See what happens if you put an image to be your button. Just have a little 10-15 minute play period to get to know it. Then attempt to recreate this calculator. Okay, you don't need any of those. Don't need any of those options there. Okay, just all those buttons, or all the basic buttons, and a display. Any questions? Okay, go.
Should we stop this up?
Yeah, stop that.